All right, welcome back to the Mac podcast, where I always talk about everything in real estate, entrepreneurship, and of course, business. And I always try to challenge conventional thinking and conventional thoughts, because I think to be part of the 1%, you need to unfollow the herd and not do what everyone else is doing all the time. So in this podcast, I want to share a little more about how to grow ourselves in 2024 and how to separate ourselves from the most conventional people out there to maybe, creating your own path, going the uncomfortable route. Maybe you're still in a comfortable position, but you're doing uncomfortable things within that. There's different ways to approach it. And entrepreneurship, of course, is not for everybody. I don't recommend anyone just to jump into it if you don't like risk and adversity and like times like this where things are up and down and it's very much, you have to be very gritty and thick-skinned to be an entrepreneur. And it isn't for everyone. But I think you can also unfollow the herd as working for somebody. I think you can unfollow the herd, within your faith, within your finances, personally. I think you can create a different you in 2024, and I want to talk about that in this podcast. But before I talk about that, in kind of ways that I'm going to, at the end of this, I will tell you how I am changing myself in 2024, and what I'm excited about. I want to first talk about a couple things, and that is our course. So today, Cyber Monday, I don't know how long this code will work for, but you can try to use it. And if you listen to this today, I would go make sure to get it today. Like by midnight, we're going to try and shut the thing off. And it's using it for my real estate course. So if you're curious about real estate, and you're like, wow, why does he keep talking about all this? How the hell do you even invest in it? Should I believe him? Should I invest in something? Well, in this course, I literally run through real estate. It's something you can take in a weekend. It'll give you some spreadsheets on how to analyze deals, find deals, and literally the spreadsheet I use to analyze a deal to see if even the deal's worth it. We talk a little bit on how to get the deal done, how to operationally, how to run a real estate deal, and everything you need to know at the basics of levels, but goes in depth. The more, some people take the course 5 times and you learn different things every time. So here's a coupon code that's $50 off. It's MKUHN, MKUHN 50. And so if you use that code, you can get $50 off. And you can gift this to somebody, literally change their lives. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to take this course yourself. Maybe your grandchild's been really interested in real estate and doesn't know where to start. Give them this coupon code, or, buy this course for them, with the coupon code $50 off today, and we'll honor that deal. So, and I also did a webinar like this last weekend. So, for free. I ran through deals. Make sure you're within our ecosystem or our email subscriber list on Substack. We'll always advertise when we do a free webinar, how you can learn and train and figure out real estate yourself within these webinars. It was literally a 2-hour webinar we did on Saturday morning. I don't really like throwing out recordings of it, but we might on this first one, and you got to be there live. Come and ask some questions. Bring a deal. Let's analyze a deal right there and then. Ask questions on how are we doing real estate? How are we finding deals? I'm literally talking about all that stuff in these webinars. And you can it's a Zoom link. You register for free and you're in. So, but let's get on to, 2024, what that brings. How do you create how do you level up in 2024 so you can create your own path and really make your own dreams happen? And I think one of the best ways to do it is through real estate. Of course, I always talk about that, but I also think that people can create their own dreams if they set their goals. So we always talk about setting goals for 2024. Even beyond that, really, when you're setting goals, you shouldn't be just sitting down yourself and writing this out and not telling anyone. That is the absolute worst thing you could do. Because what? You're going to hold yourself accountable. You haven't held yourself accountable to every other year. No one else knows what motivates you. Literally, there will be spouses that don't talk about goals. It's just literally we go home, we don't talk about it. It's uncomfortable. That's just such bullshit. You can't do that. If your spouse isn't into your dreams, it's not saying you have to get divorced. It's just saying they should know your vision. Where do you want to end up going? And you can't start with just 1 year. Like, yeah, some people like thinking about next week or next month is like too far advanced. You got to think about like 10 years. And if you think about in times of 10 years, you're going to think, okay, really lofty goals, right? Like these should be huge goals that like, if you hit that, like this would be absolutely the perfect situation. Or like I'd like to say, write down your perfect day. So 10 years from now, what is your perfect day? What is your perfect day? Maybe it's golfing in the morning. It's, hanging out with, having lunch with a high net worth investor, and you know what? Hanging with friends at night and watching football, whatever you're into, right? Like I just told you mine. They obviously change over time, but write out your perfect day. Cause a lot of people get lost. It's like, I don't know what I want 10 years. I don't know what I want next week. Well, if you write down your perfect day, you'll come to a conclusion that like, this is what would be perfect to me. And then you should also have your spouse do it, or do it with your spouse, or do it separately and then come together. And if it's not a spouse, like call grandma, call mom, call a relative, an uncle, whatever. I don't really care. And write out your perfect day and then share it with them. And so that way they know like what your vision is, what your focus is, and like what motivates you. Cause I think it tells a lot about people when you can understand where they want to go. And you can understand, even spouses can understand each other better, probably live together happier if they both know where they're headed and how they can get there, help each other get to where they want to go, right? And so write out your perfect day, very at the simplest line. That's the easiest way to start. And then work backwards. Now let's go 3 years, right? Like now we're not like super out there, but now we're thinking like 2027 instead of 2034, it's like that's sometimes too lofty. So work off your perfect day vision from 10 years from now, and then back down to like 3 years. And if you get stuck here, like look at your perfect day, write down what all makes that perfect day and how do you get there? So back it up 7 years from then, like what are some steps that you need to get there? Maybe it's, you need to start a business, or you need to buy a business, or you need to buy some real estate, or you need to have some passive income, or maybe it's getting advanced at your job, right? Like there's steps on getting there. So you should be at this job to hit that in 10 years. I think if you can track that and go into a 3-year format, that gives you a lot of clarity now. Now you're super clear on the future. Like, I know where I want to be in 10 years. Now 3 years is just steps to get there, right? And you probably have steps every year you're going to take to get there. And then work backwards one more time and then work down to 1 year. You shouldn't start with the 1 year and then work forward. That's not a good way to think about it. Think about where you actually want to go. What makes you happy? Get clear on the path forward. Because if you're not clear, you're not going to be able to do the 3 year and you're not going to be able to do the 1 year. I'll just tell you that. And then if you can get clear on the 1 year, it's like, okay, at the end of 2024, like where do I need to be to hit that 2027 and that 2034 goal? And if I can get real clear on the steps, again, maybe they're baby steps, but they're going to be steps. Maybe I need to get to this kind of position, or I need to buy one real estate deal, or I need to do, like, don't bite off the whole world, right? Like they always say this, right? Like you always overdo what you can do in 1 year. Like your goals are way too lofty for 1 year, but in the 3 and 10 year, usually you overperform what your goals were, especially if you're clear on your goals. When you're clear on your goals, now you're not like just out there working, or just out there to live another day till 5 o'clock, or another day to just another week passes. Once you make those 1 year goals, make sure your spouse, and make sure you're sharing this. This is called your whole vision of your life, and share it with somebody. It can be the most uncomfortable thing for most people, right? Like not many people like to share where they want to go. It's secretive, right? I share you guys. I obviously do some social media, I do some podcasts, I do different things, but I share with people where I want to go and what I want to do in the future. And, sometimes it helps me even be clear where I want to go and what I want to do. And so I know this tool can be helpful for you. Just make sure not to set your goals too high in 1 year. Don't make your 10-year goal be your 1 year goal. Like it's steps, right? Like it's steps each way along the game. So, and then what I usually do, like we follow a system called Entrepreneurial Operating System. So it's a book called Traction by 𝗨𝗨𝗿𝗱. And EOS is very much a business operating system. So it can run a coffee shop, it could run a hedge fund, it can do whatever you want it to do. And it's just a way to solve issues and a way to navigate progress towards the end goal. And it's like creating a vision for yourself personally, but it's what you do for a business. So I always take business and personal together because I think people need to track things personally and they need to track things within companies. And so I think it's important though, it tracks you progress towards your goal. So you're going to break things down by 90 days. You're going to break things down by weeks. You're going to literally break it down to every, months or whatever. You're going to break it down daily. The smaller you can get baby steps to tracking your outcome of your goal, the more opportunity you're going to have to hit it. So anyway, you're going to want to track the score, right? Like along the way. You don't want to set your 1 year target and then not track it anymore. And then you're like, oh, let's go up in the next December. How did we do on the list? Well, I had 412 things on the list. I wanted to do this, and I wanted to go on a vacation, and I wanted to do that, and I wanted to do, it's like, it's too overwhelming. And then you look at the list and you're like, wow, it's like I only hit like 3 things. Well, it's good because you never tracked any of them. Now, if you were to set your goals, personal goals, into 90-day windows and just said, hey, you know what? Here's 12 things on the list, and I want to complete 3 each quarter. A lot less overwhelming. Now it's just I want to complete 1 each month. A lot less overwhelming. Now I'm going to track them each week and make sure I'm working towards that one goal. So if you get real clear and real concise and all the way down to the day or the week on tracking your progress, you're going to end up hitting it. And it's just because you were focused on it. It was in front of you. You were clear on the path and you were clear on the target. And if you can't be clear with yourself, again, go back to what is the perfect day, right? What is the perfect day for me? And maybe it's whatever your goals are and getting clear. I think I can't give examples to everything, but you have to be able to get clear with yourself and get clarity. And you have to find a dark room and you're going to have to find some time and you're going to have to just figure out how to get clear with yourself. Again, reverse engineer. You'll hear me say that a lot. 10-year, 3-year, 1 year, 90 days, month, week, days. Like, get it all the way down so it's very granular on what you want to do, and you're going to end up getting progress. And the progress, you want to be productive. And I always think production and progress are 2 different things, right? Like I can be productive. I can go shovel off the sidewalk every single day, but then it snows again and I got to shovel it off again. And am I being productive? Yes. Am I being, am I advancing my career? Am I actually being proactive about things? Not really. I'm just doing the same thing. And so productive doesn't mean you're going to be happy, even though that does make you happy. You want to make sure you're advancing forward and really moving the needle for yourself. So, make sure you're not doing the same thing over and over again, and make sure you're actually tracking your progress while you're going. Because when you get clear like that on yourself and you start making advancements, you're going to find something different in you, and you're going to find that you end up being much more productive in a proactive way, meaning you're able to look into the future and see where you're headed. And it gives you an ability to track your score. How am I doing towards this goal? How am I doing towards that? And not everything is a numeric, right? Like, hey, I want to grow to my net worth to $10 million. Okay. And that's in 10 years. Okay. 3 years, I want it to be 3 million. Okay. And then 1 year it needs to be $1 million. Okay, great. Well, it's going to be way harder to hit 1 million than it is going to hit 10, right? Like you're probably likely to go from 1 to 5 to 10 to 20, right? In the 10-year thing, but it's going to be really hard to gain that 1 year. So don't be too hard on yourself in your first year goals. set all the way down to 90-day windows, whether you want to be, your net worth wants to be $1 million so you can be an accredited investor, whatever, good goal. And you just want to track the steps along the way. What is it going to take to get you there? Break it down in the simplest of forms. Find a mentor, find someone that you can coach you. I guarantee this stuff isn't going to come easy, but it's funny to me when you start talking things about personally, I know I relate it to a business because I do view my personal life as a business as well. It's like, I want to be the best father. I want to do the best. I want to take vacations with my kids, spend time with them, whatever, right? If you don't track how you're doing at that, then is it really getting better, or are you just trying to say it's going to get better? So I try to track that and try to see how I'm doing with that. So again, though, I think coming from mentors and coaches, like that's what's pushed me to get really clear on the path forward. And I get to communicate with them and like, hey, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? What do you think? How do I track this backwards? How do I actually get to my goals? And how do I help mentors help keep me accountable? Because I spend money on mentors. And if I can't get clear with them, then how are they supposed to actually help me? And if I want to do something, can they keep me accountable? Yeah, if they know my goals, they can be like, yeah, well, so Mark, did you hit this or did you not? And it's like, no, I didn't. You know, it's like, I guess I wasn't even focused on it. So get clear with yourself, reverse engineer a plan, promise you, share it with somebody. Put it on your social media. Talk about scary. Put your goals all on social media and then post them every day. Guarantee people are going to be asking you how they are and how they're doing. Very scary, but like share them with a spouse. That's just as scary. For people that don't like sharing anything or super secretive, share them with your spouse, share them with an uncle, share them with whoever. It could be your best friend. Start sharing them with more people. I guarantee, and sometimes even share them with someone that you look up to. This could be, if it's a coworker, if it's a coach of something, whatever, like this could be just a person you look up to that you have access to. And you're like, hey, here's my goals. Like, what do you think? Like, you know, because you're going to feel like inspired by them, right? Because you look up to them, right? Like, so you are inspired to them. Well, here's my goal list. What do you think about it? And could you help me track my progress once a quarter? Can we have a half-hour call? Or, you know what I mean? That'd be uncomfortable too, but like just share it. Just sharing it with them will cause you to actually complete that list. And it'll be very satisfying to you, and you'll feel like, yeah, hey, I won their, you know what I mean? I shared my goals with them and I won their satisfaction or their, you know what I mean? Their ability to like, hey, you did a great job, right? So I just want you to think about that. It's all about sharing it with others and trying to lead up. So, all right. So my 2024, I'm going to keep this brief, only because I think I told you the plan on how to get, like, I'm getting there, right? So I need to get real clear, usually in Q4. Again, how does that change from year to year? How does my spouse and I get on the same page? And how do I get on the same page with everyone at my company? And I use this form called EOS again. So you know the path on how I get there. But for me in 2024, I think that I'm going to keep leaning into real estate even harder, because that's what my tenure tells me that I need to do. I want to do, right? Like that's the impact I want to leave. So I want to take down, you know, more real estate than I've ever had. I want to develop more real estate than I ever have. And that meaning I have to get quantitative with that. And I haven't gotten super quantitative with it yet, because it really dictates what the market brings, which is nothing more than an excuse to do less. So I want to be very concise on what I want to do, and I want to make sure it matches my 10-year targets. And so I haven't set exact quantities, but I'd like to do, you know, I'd like to develop probably about $30 million worth. I'd like to acquire about $10 million worth. This year, I'd like to raise $5 million in capital in 2024. And it all relates to the bigger purpose, and that's 10 years from now, obviously making an impact. I want to increase my content production, more or less increasing quality, increasing the types of content that we're producing to help more people. I'm offering, you know, coaching now. I like to coach clients. I think it just keeps me in perspective on what I'm doing, And all the information that I've gained from mentors and business people and all the good people I've been able to talk to, it's helped me connect the dots for people younger than, not necessarily younger. Most of them are actually older than me, the ones that I mentor, and it's just to kind of show them the way. I like to be creative and try to identify that for people. So if you are interested in one-on-one coaching, I have one spot left. Trying to think, how should they find out about the offer? Why don't you just, link below on it. We will link something to the link below. We'll link something. You can find it there. I literally have one spot. I'm doing 10-week coaching program. You get my real estate course. You can work with me, get my phone number. Like literally we will work together. These are people that I want to maybe future partner with, people that I want to help, maybe grow their business. Maybe just someone younger who's looking to get into what I'm doing, right? If I'm a few years ahead of them, maybe they want to identify on what I did to get here. This could be the most affordable coaching program, and it's costing you money every day that you're not taking action. So make sure you click that link and apply below, because we're not taking everybody. We're only taking specific people, but I like to do the coaching and more of that. So in 2024, I hope to coach probably 50 students and more or less educate them on my mistakes and mentor them through whatever they need, whether it's business or real estate. I think those two are kind of the biggest items. So I'm taking a mix of clients in both, so something I work very hard at and is trying to grow is that email list. So we have we're I think approaching 3,000 people now. I want to grow that to 20,000. I'd love to grow that to a big group of people that, if you want to market your own brand on there, there's specific real estate and business people that are on there, willing to invest. And I think I want to own some more companies, meaning vertically integrating my development company, the management company, building out more storage portfolios and trying to integrate everything is a vertical to allow investors to come invest beside me and have access to all these companies, maybe invest beside me in all these companies, and for us to build in the real estate. So they'll get to play in both the real estate, the companies themselves, and earn investments from them as they build the storage. Because obviously there's verticals of revenue that go to all these other companies to help produce the storage portfolio, and hopefully we can keep increasing that. That's something that I probably dream of in 2024 is I think more investors just want alignment. And I'm trying to build products that they want to be a part of. And so that's something I'm working on in 2024. Working on a lot, right? Like we got branding, I got real estate, I got companies, I got my own personal things that I really want to develop. I like my free time and I also like to coach people and help people. I think that's really the impact that I can leave. Even when I'm 70, I'll be coaching people and helping people and hopefully learning from the mistakes I've made in business and the mistakes I've made in real estate and help more people. So make sure to click the link, apply if that's something you're interested in. We're only have the window open for a few, I'm only taking a few people at each time. To really put the focus and effort into each student or each mentor or mentee. So I think that's all I got this week. I hope everyone came away with at least a game plan for 2024. And we'll talk more about this probably in the future, but I wanted everyone to start thinking about it because we are entering December. Appreciate you all. See you in the next one.